ever worked a taxi? Sleeping on the street side all night long to find some food, so tell me where you get your bread, Mr. Sugar. Tell me where you get your bread each time you lift your knife and fork. Tell me where you get your bread, Mr. Sugar. Tell me where you get your bread each time to work in the radio station. It's not easy at all. Did you check out Sister Mary selling with her basket in Coronation Market? Don't you respect that hustling? Tell me where you get your bread, Mr. Sugar.
Yeah,
tell me where you get your bread each time you eat a very full time. Tell me where you get your bread, Mr. Sugar. Tell me where you get your bread each time.
Red Walker, of the son of the land. Oh, when your future, people love men our God. From vision to vision, the end is surely.
Have you ever worked in a
our strength in unity?
burning fire cold for the nation?
The end is
I saw you all day long in the streets. Something on the sidewalk
our strength in
you are looking.
unity.
So tell me where you get your bread. Tell me where you get your bread each time you eat. Get your bread, Mr. Sugar. Tell me where you get your bread each time.
Victory! Victory! It's our land.
You want the prettiest booty?
It's our land.
The new
Let's take
jeans.
the winner. Arise, for Ghana, of the drop of the land. Power and secure future. People love me, our God. From vision to victory, the end is surely. Stable democrat, Ghana, our strength in unity. From vision to victory, the end is surely. Stable democrat, Ghana, our strength in unity. From vision to victory, the end is surely.
Welcome to
Stable
UK. First report. Today we will be looking at the recent visit of the Vice President Dr. Bawumia to the UK and his perception of the state of the economy and his message for Honorable Alex Segbefia and NDC for the coming elections in 2024. And we will also be hearing from Honorable Alex Segbefia, former Minister of Health, former Deputy Chief of Staff, and NDC International Relations Director for the diaspora. Honorable, welcome.
Thank you very much, Kofi. Good evening to you and good evening to your viewers and listeners. I hope you're well.
Yes. How was your trip coming?
Oh, fantastic. It was okay. And thank you for the lovely weather that I brought to you.
Yes, yes. It's very nice. The weather is good. Very, very nice. Yeah, today we have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
We have a lot. Bawumia visited here, UK, recently, International MPP, International Women's Conference, and he made a number of statements, and we'll be looking at that. But before that, looking at the MPP presidential aspirants, who do you think could pose a threat to the NDC?
None of them.
We have 10 of them.
Not a single one of them pose a threat to the victory of John Mahama in 2024. Because they all carry the same baggage. And the baggage is very heavy. Some even more heavier, for some more than others. But they all carry the same baggage. And as a result, we are not concerned with who emerges finally as the flag bearer. To us, it's of no consequence. We are clear in our mind to what we need to do. We are clear we've got the popular vote. We just have to be vigilant on the day of the election, and victory will be ours.
But Kennedy Japan, member of parliament for Asin Central, is saying that he will beat Mahama hands down and predict this ahead of MPP primaries.
He should go and beat his opponents first, and then come and think about Mahama. He's got opponents in the MPP he's facing. So is he presuming that they are not going to contest him, or is he's already won already? It's a very interesting context they are having. And we are not really worried about who emerges, but in terms of the contest itself, it doesn't look like the government machine is in his favor. It appears clearly that the government machine is trying to bring in Dr. Bawumia, His Excellency, the Vice President. And if that is the case, then he has a tall order within the party to actually emerge. But whether he emerges, Alan Shamanting, Osea Kuto, whoever, first and foremost, they have two hurdles. First, they must make sure they are in the 5 out of the 9 or the 10 that are going, because they have their internal process to streamline it to 5. And then after that, they go for the main one. So he shouldn't be thinking about John Mahama at this stage. He has bigger headaches to solve.
Yes.
And that is where we stand. But as I said, we are focused. We have put our team in place. We've done our branch elections. We've done our constituency elections. We've done our regional elections. We've done our national elections. We've done our flag bearer elections. We've done our parliamentarian elections. So there's only one thing left, which is an internal matter, has got nothing to do with delegates, or which is the choice of vice president. And that will come as and when the president himself is ready, once he consults the Council of Elders. So we don't have any stone left unturned in terms of voting processes. We finished all our voting processes for our elections. And we are now focused on the strategy we are going to use for the elections, and also ensuring that we count our votes on the day. Because as for the popular vote, we are clear. Ghanaians have had enough of MPP. They are ready to get rid of them. We know the games they play when it comes to elections. So that in of itself is not enough. And we are making sure that we are in a position to count our votes.
Thank you. The majority chief whip, Frank Ano Dompe, who is campaigning for Vice President Dr. Bawumia, he says that he expressed concerns about the importance of all flag bearers maintaining discipline within the party. Then he also stressed their problem now is the NDC, not on themselves. He also stressed not to let Mahama come close to the presidency because of his legacies.
Well, it's not his choice. Sometimes when I hear statements, I'm quite intrigued, because Ghanaians are going to vote. What steps is he going to take to ensure that Mahama doesn't come near the presidency? Is it the court case that they are trying now to bring against Mahama? Do they have clandestine activities towards Mahama as a person? We must be careful what statements we make, because people can read a lot into those type of statements. Should the unthinkable occur, who are they going to point fingers? Let me give you a classic example. People went on a platform and indicated that this same MPP, that when they come to power, they would change the chief of Dagbon and give it to the Abudus. No sooner had they come to power that there was an all-out raid on his palace. He was beheaded and others were killed. And the leadership was now trying to distance itself from the statements that have been made on the platform. So let us be careful what we say and what we do. It's not what is the issue? You're having your internal elections, you're talking about John Mahama. At least wait till you have a flag bearer and let us start talking about what the situation is going to be.
Yes.
But if you are thinking of your internal elections and you are talking about John, it means that you see him as a real threat. And that you know that the opposition have a formidable force in terms of our leader. And he's all set to take over the reins of government again. So it's a double-edged sword. One, it should not be said, but if has been said, we are quietly confident that there's a real fear because they know that they haven't got a single candidate in all the names that you have called that is going to beat John Mahama at an election. They know that.
And Honorable Yao Buabini Asamoah.
Yes.
He's also blaming Bawumia, and this is what he's saying. He's saying that if anyone is telling you the vice president is not campaigning, he's not telling you as it is. He has government appointees going around offering incentives. They are those who are being threatened to follow through. They are those who are being promised all manner of things. This practice has been going on according to research with all the political parties, giving donation to voters. What do we do here? Is this legal for using government funds if the evidence is true to be given out?
Drinking alcohol is considered not good. So if you are drinking 3 glasses of alcohol a day, it's considered to be bad. Don't drink. If you can avoid it, don't drink alcohol. But you cannot put somebody who is drinking 3 glasses of alcohol a day in the same position as somebody who is drinking 2 bottles of vodka a day. Both are not right, but somebody is at an extreme level. That is the problem with MPP. Monetization is a big problem in Ghana across all political parties. Everything you need to find money for this or that, I hold my hands up. We are not immune as NDC. But the level to which it has been taken under the MPP is just, even in their internal elections, it's just astronomical. And it is really making the whole issue of elections and democracy turn on its head. People are no longer listening to policy. What you are going to come and do, what you are going to bring. You simply have to turn up with enough money. Tell people that if they don't give you their vote and they take the money, you are going to Antoanawa or some other fetish.
Yes.
And you will let them swear, and they are not even looking at your policy. Whether what you come to do for this
is this why we are suffering as a country?
Well, that is why, excuse me to say, we voted for Nanado, who for me has been an abject, complete failure as a president. And I don't mean it as him as a person. He's a nice gentleman, good lawyer. But as a president, he's definitely disappointed Ghanaians. And he has failed. And he keeps speaking and cannot deliver. Have you seen any of the 111 hospitals yet? Have you seen it? First it was 88 within 12 months. Then when the 12 months came, it became 111 in 18 months. We are still waiting. We are still waiting. So I'm clear in my mind that he has failed. We won't have any haircuts. We have had haircuts.
Where is the country going? What is the NDC policy in regards to that?
Look,
in regards to giving donations to
it's wrong.
voters.
No, it's wrong. I've held my hands up. I say every political party does it. And it doesn't help our democracy. It is ruining our democracy. Recently, there was some conference put together, or should I say committee meeting put together to discuss the possibility of how we were going to take monetization out of. President Mahama even did a whole speech and mentioned that it's something that has to be looked at. And there are issues with regard to whether governments will ever be in a position to fund political parties so that you can monitor to a certain extent how much each party is allowed to spend on elections, as opposed to this winner takes all. If you have more money, you can go in and stand. It happens at the branch level, the constituency level, all levels of the party, including the parliamentary candidates elections. And now we are seeing it in the flag bearership election. So even though you would hear token amounts being given for people for various issues in the NDC, when you hear the amounts that are going around when it comes to the MPP, you wonder. Wow. I mean, we're talking of huge sums of money, and then all of a sudden it makes sense that we are broke and we can't find our money because it's all been put together to have what we call a war chest for a campaign. That's what we have. So it must stop, and the NDC is going to try and find a way to have the dialogue. We have issues with it ourselves. So it has to be a joint political party, cum civil society, cum churches, etc., chiefs. Everybody must come together to see what system can we put in place to stop or reduce monetization. If we don't get a grip of it, we'll have a problem. Interestingly, in our parliamentary primaries, there were a number of people who went in with money. Yeah. They lost. So now the electorate is also becoming wiser. The money they collect, they are not afraid of the Antoine Amans and the so-called prison. No. They collect the money and vote how they want to vote.
Yes.
And so across board, we are beginning to see that even the electorate is a bit concerned about what people are saying. So you cannot just, at least within the NDC, at the parliamentary level, you couldn't just come with money and get the result you thought you would get. If not, a lot of parliamentarians would have lost their seats. Yeah. But it didn't happen. Those that came in thinking that this was it, lost their seats. Because the electorate were able to identify with those they knew are with them and have their interests at heart, as opposed to latter-day saints or people who have just arrived. And they wanted people who had gone through the mill. So there we have it.
Yeah,
and that's why we believe Chachi will also win.
Okay. Yeah, we will come to that. We will come to that.
Yes.
Interestingly,
yes.
We will come to that. Now, MPP presidential candidate Alan Kyerematen warned that the party will not have a message for Ghanaians in 2024 elections. But if the current economic hardship persists, or go on. However, Bawumia, in his recent visit to the UK and today, reported that the MPP government had done tremendously well with many landmark achievements since assuming office in 2017, like one district, one factory, planting for food and jobs, free education, and many more, he said. Something, according to Bawumia, the NDC cannot talk about. Bawumia reported for the MPP to talk about their achievements rather than listening to what Alan Kyerematen is saying. What is your view and assessment of this?
When dogs are biting dogs, the cat sits on the wall and watches. Because if the cat comes down, they will now turn their attention towards the cat. So the cat just sits on the wall and watches them fight amongst themselves. In the end, eventually, one of them will get wounded badly. So when that happens, the house is not together. One is speaking truth, and the other is behaving as he's always behaved, telling us things that are not correct. Bawumia has not been truthful with the people of Ghana. Alan Kyerematen has been part of a government